Two arrests have been made in Texas after a man was beaten to death and dragged behind a pickup truck before setting it on fire. The incident occurred on Saturday the 12th of June when 37-year-old Robert Hoffpower severely beat his mother's ex-boyfriend, 60-year-old Roman Rodriguez, into submission after an altercation erupted between both men. Robert then grabbed a rope and tied a tow strap around Roman's waist, then tied the other end to Roman's own pickup truck and dragged him for about a mile from the home. The truck was then set ablaze before abandoning it on the road. Officers were called to the scene at 10 p.m. that night on reports of a burning truck along an isolated road. As they approached the scene, a trail of blood could be seen for several hundred yards until they found the lifeless body of Roman behind a burnt-out truck just north of Rye, Texas. Evidence discovered at the site led the authorities to the home of Robert and his 56-year-old mother, Taimee Ann Cole. The investigators said the night Roman was killed, he had gone inside the home of his ex-girlfriend when a domestic disturbance broke out. A physical altercation ensued which spilled outdoors and got totally out of control. Robert was arrested the following evening and has been charged with murder and abuse of a corpse, and he's been held at the Liberty County Jail on a $1 million bond. Taimee was later arrested on the afternoon on the 16th of June and has been charged with tampering with physical evidence and abuse of a corpse. No details have been provided at this stage around jail or bond for her. Investigators are waiting for an autopsy to determine whether Roman was alive at the time he was dragged. A Cordova, South Carolina man was murdered earlier this month after meeting with a seller through Facebook when he went to buy an all-terrain vehicle from him. The incident occurred around 12:30 p.m. on the 9th of June at Saddle Ridge Road in Branchville. 34-year-old Alexander Presley travelled around 18 miles with his pregnant wife and 2 children to buy an ATV from a 17-year-old boy named Edward Stokes. Alexander gave $4,600 to Edward, who had brought a 13-year-old boy with him. Alexander then loaded the ATV onto a trailer attached to his SUV. Alexander's wife, Kayla Cox, then noticed the seller started acting strange, and she got a feeling that something bad was about to happen. That was when Edward attacked Alexander. He offered Edward whatever he wanted. Edward then grabbed Alexander by the back of his neck and shot him. Edward then pointed the gun at Kayla, forcing her and the children to get out of the vehicle. Edward and the 13-year-old then got in and drove off, before Alexander died at the scene. Deputies found the SUV abandoned about 7 miles away. Then at around 3:30 p.m, they spotted Edward walking along a road between the crime scene and where the SUV was dumped. Edward was arrested and is held in custody without bond. He's been charged with murder and 2 counts of armed robbery, and he's been tried as an adult. The 13-year-old boy who was with Edward was also arrested and charged with armed robbery and with an accessory before and after the fact of murder.